What's up guys, Ed here. You're watching Zygostatics. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're going to be helping you guys to gain muscle using only bodyweight exercise. And in this video I wanted to show you guys something different. It's just literally going to be an uncut, unedited workout. And the reason why we're going to be posting these super duper long videos is because loads of people have been asking us what we actually do when we work out. Like, they ask us, the workouts we post, is that the same ones we do, or they want to know exactly what we do. So I think the only way for me to easily show you guys what I do is just to film the whole entire session, and then you guys can actually understand what level I'm operating at and how I actually do my workouts. And I think that's going to be a really good way for you guys to actually work out or learn how you're going to build muscle with your own body weight. So anyway, here in this session I was actually at the gym with Chi. We think it's obviously good every now and again to just go to the gym, mix things up, but normally Chi trains at home 100% of the time. I actually train in a gym that's near my house, so this isn't really located close to my place. This is Crayford Weights and Fitness, which is actually quite a popular gym in the UK. I don't go to this gym, but I do go to another gym and just use bodyweight exercise. So why do I go to the gym? Just to really be simple, I work from 9 to 7. So by the time I get home from work, it's dark outside. And my local park, there's no lighting in the park, so it's pitch black. So there's no point with me training in the park. And in the mornings, it's just too long. So that's why I train in the gym. But anyway, what I'm going to show you guys is exactly what I'm doing and how this is going to be building the muscles I'm trying to focus on in this workout. So the first exercise you see me doing here is called skull crushers. I created this exercise and it's really good for engaging the mid to upper chest muscles. It's really dangerous, obviously, hence the name skull crushers, because what you're doing here in this situation is you're leaning right forward over an edge and you're pushing up using your chest muscles. So it's completely different to a handstand push-up that's on a higher surface, because in that movement you lower yourself but then you flatten your whole torso, sort of like in a planche, and that adds extra stability and it engages your back muscles and your serratus anterior much more than this actual movement does. So I think it's even safer to go for handstand push-ups off a higher surface than these ones, because if you don't have the right muscle stability and strength in this exercise, you will fall flat on your face. So please, before imitating this exercise and trying it, make sure that you've practiced handstand push-ups and you're quite obviously comfortable with them. Yeah, so anyway, I did 3 sets of 6, and that's just to engage the muscles. If you guys follow Zygostatics, you would know that this is called a preload, and this is just so that we can actually engage this particular muscle groups before we actually then go on to doing our other regular exercises. Yeah, so the fact that it's a preload means I'm only doing it once in the entire session. So in this entire workout I only did that exercise once. Now I'm going to be doing a commentary in this video for the first set of the workout, just so that you guys understand exactly what's going on here. I'm going to be trying to drop loads of tips and hints that is going to obviously help you to develop your physique, and I'm going to be walking you through my exercises, as a lot of them are quite unique, and I'll actually explain to you guys a little bit about what Zygostatics actually is, because I don't think I've actually clarified that in other videos and other uploads. But anyway, in this workout, every time I do an exercise, it's about 1 to 2 minutes of rest. At the end of the whole set is 2 to 4 minutes of rest. And the reason why we go for these ranges is because research shows that within these ranges, hypertrophy is maximized. If you wait too long and you give yourself too much rest, what ends up happening is obviously you become less fatigued and your muscles recover to a better extent, which allows you to do the exercises easier. However, fatigue is actually correlated to hypertrophy, and metabolic stress is actually one of the main methods in which I actually gain muscle doing bodyweight exercise. So if you want to grow your muscles doing bodyweight exercise, make sure you don't take too much rest, and you actually have to focus on actually developing fatigue. So the form is really important. As you can see, I'm doing it really slowly. I could do it much faster and it would be much easier and I wouldn't feel much of a burn, but that's not the point here. The point is that we're trying to actually stimulate a lot of metabolic stress in our muscles, and we're trying to damage the muscles. So anyway, this exercise is the second exercise we're going to be doing, or that I did, and it's 10 decline ab wheel flies. When I say this word, when I say this whole exercise name, it's always so confusing, because like I always have done this exercise, I just never put a name to it. So you know, when you're actually just trying to find a name for something, and you're just literally making it up off the top of your head. But yeah, it literally is 10 decline ab wheel flies. So what I'm actually using to do these are ab wheels. These are individual twin ab wheels. So well, I think some people call ab rollers. So they're twin individual ab wheels or ab rollers, and I bought them specifically for this exercise. I thought it would be a good way to add a different plane of movement whilst training my chest muscles, because when I do obviously push-ups, or when everyone does a push-up, you're pushing only in one plane. So to add another range of motion, which is horizontal motion in the pushing exercises, I decided to try this exercise out, and it's really helped to develop the thickness in my chest. So anyway, what I do in the workout is, whenever I, for instance, can't do a rep, instead of rushing the reps or half repping or speeding up the pace of the reps, what we normally do is we normally just take about a 10-second break, take a few deep breaths, and then try and finish the workout, or try and finish the exercise whilst maintaining good form. And I think that's really important, and that's something that's really helped me to obviously grow my muscles to the size they are without using weights. Anyway, we're moving on to the third exercise. So the first two exercises were training my upper chest muscles, and that's how I isolated my upper chest in this workout. And now I'm moving on to the lateral delts. So this exercise, I call it hinge contractions. I'm not sure if that's the name I've actually written on the left hand side of this screen, I just hope it is, but hinge contractions. Now this is really good for training the lateral delts or engaging it. You can use it as a preload, you can also use it as a main exercise. The main important thing is you're going to have to learn how to isolate, or how to, what's the word called, yeah, how to isolate your lateral delts. By that I mean you've got to make sure that you lock your whole body in place. So the one thing you absolutely can't do in this exercise is to move your hips. So your hips have to be locked in place. Now I created this exercise and I found it quite useful, and I never really thought of how anyone could do the exercise wrong, but I was actually wrong with that, because I went training with one of my friends and I told him to do this exercise, and he was easily able to do 30, when my maximum of these is about normally 20 before I can't do any more. And I knew obviously it couldn't be the fact that his lateral delts were stronger than mine, so I paid close attention to his form, and what I could see was that he was moving his hips. And when I tried it like that, I realized that the exercise became instantly useless. Like once you move your hips, you can do 1,000 of these and you wouldn't feel anything in your lateral delts. So make sure that you lock your whole body in place. You're leaning against the wall, and if not for your lateral delts moving, your head will smash into the wall. That's how much force you're basically leaning into the wall with. So make sure that you do it properly, and I usually go for a maximum set here, but in this workout particularly my maximum was 18. So what I actually do then is, in the future, or the further 2 sets I do, because I do 3 sets, I'll reduce the reps by 2. So instead of doing max in the second and third set, I'll literally just take 2 off the max in the first set. So that basically just allows me to work within a good range. Or if I wasn't to minus it by 2, I think by the second and third set I would actually end up saying my maximum was about 10 reps, because obviously maximum is subjective. You know, one day when you feel really good, your maximum might be 50 reps of something, or 50 reps of push-ups, let's just say, for example. But then on another day, your maximum might just be 20. So if you make sure that you remember what your maximums are and you minus 2 reps off of them, it makes sure that you push yourself to a higher level. So that's just a quick explanation of that. And that's also one thing that has helped me to obviously develop my physique, is understanding these concepts. So looking at the workout, this workout is dead long, and this was actually the fastest I've ever done this exercise, or this workout in particular. And I think the only reason why I did it this fast was because I knew I was being filmed, and obviously I knew I had to keep all of the rest intervals absolutely precise. But normally when I'm doing these exercise workouts myself, it normally takes longer, because I think I take a little bit more rest than I need to sometimes, and that's just literally because I'm knackered. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I've seen a few people message me on Facebook or Instagram and ask me for like workout programs, and I would say, okay, fine, let me just give you a quick program that I think would be really good for you. And I write this program down for them and I send it to them, and then, you know, literally they do the workout and they come back to me, and I say, how did it go? And when they say the workout went fine and maybe it was a little bit too easy and they're looking to level up to the next level, I'm thinking to myself, I don't think you did the workout as properly as I would expect you to do, because I've heard this story many times before. But anyway, before I just finish my thought, I'm actually doing an exercise here called side chair push-ups, and this is for my lateral delt. So basically this is allowing me to push in a different plane, and this engages my lateral delts. So as you can see, I'm literally basically placing all of my force down onto my side and over and above my shoulder, if it makes sense. But that's the range of motion, so that engages your lateral delts. Now normally such an exercise wouldn't engage your lateral delts that much, because it's a compound exercise. It's using many muscles all in one go. My chest was doing some work there, my front delts were doing some work there, my triceps were doing a lot of work there, so my traps were also doing some work there. So that exercise is not the best exercise you want to start with. So that's why I did the lateral the hinge contractions first, because that exercise is quite isolating on the lateral delts. So that was serving two functions in this workout. It was helping to stimulate the muscles first and acting as a preload, and then obviously it's also training that at the same time. So if you want to be gaining muscle doing bodyweight exercise, you want to make sure that you construct your workouts in a very, very clever way, you know, so that it's basically engaging your muscles in the best way. I see lots of people that do calisthenics, just making the whole workout. They'll make a chest workout or whatever, and they'll start the chest workout with muscle ups, or they'll start the chest workout by doing something that's not really going to engage the chest properly. Or a lot of the exercises they say is for their chest isn't really for their chest. Like they'll add in front levers, and I'm thinking, why are you doing front levers on a chest workout day? I know it can be used to train the chest in a very, 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 very mild way, but for me, what I make sure I do is I only focus on particular exercises that are going to help me in this particular workout. So in this workout, you haven't seen all the exercises I can do. I can do muscle ups, I can do some front levers, not full front levers. I can do front levers with one leg. I can do many types of handstand push-ups. I can do hollow back push-ups. I can do lots of different exercises. My vocabulary, of exercises is huge. It's super long. But what I normally do is I focus on particular muscle groups every period of time. So for instance, I've been doing this workout for a month. This was, I think, my 3rd week of doing this exercise program, so I'm almost done with it. After a month, I normally switch to another program, and I would focus on a different set of muscle groups. So this time I was focusing on my upper chest and my lateral delt muscles. Next time I do the pushing workout again, I'll look at my physique and say, what do I need to develop? Well, my upper chest is fine now, my lateral delts are looking good. I might need to work on my lower chest, you see, or I might need to work on my traps, or I might need to work on my triceps, who knows. But then that's how I decide what I'm training each particular phase of training. So anyway, this exercise I'm moving on to here is it's called, what's it called? Oh my gosh, it's handstand push-ups or scorpion push-ups. Yeah, So I normally start with scorpion push-ups, but the reason why I didn't continue with the scorpion push-ups, even though I can do, is that they are really effective at training your serratus anterior muscles. The only problem is my serratus anterior muscles are overdeveloped, and if I was to push through and do 10 scorpion push-ups, I know for a fact that my serratus anterior is going to be overloaded for this period of time in this workout. Once that happens, it's almost like I've done a preload of the serratus anterior muscles, and anything else I do that's focused on pushing in a certain way that requires me to balance on 2 hands, such as a dip, that's going to train the serratus anterior muscles over the chest. So you've got to be clever when you construct your workout programs. It's not about an ego and how to sort of look cool when you're doing the exercises. You've got to think about exactly what they're doing, and that comes with experience. You learn about these things once you train, and then you wake up the next day, you feel pain in a particular muscle group, you know exactly what muscle groups were trained, and then you can work out what exercises trained them. And once you can work that out, you can actually then form a proper plan to actually help you to grow in the best way possible. Okay, that's cool. Anyway, what I was also saying before, I did leave that thought behind when I was doing the, the decline side chair push-ups. I was saying some people I give programs to say that the workout is too easy, or they've completed the workout, they feel fine, no pain after the workout. You haven't done the workout properly. So in this workout, the reason why we're actually posting uncut videos is so you can see how much work goes into building muscle in general. So even if you're doing weights, it takes a lot of work and dedication, and your form is just as important as your diet. So as you can see, my form is pretty clean, and the workout for me is really hard and really difficult. Even though the workout itself I don't think is that hard. If I was to minus the skull crushers at the beginning and the handstand push-ups or the scorpion push-ups, then the workout is really basic and it's something that anyone else could do. Yet this workout is super effective, and those exercises, I think I could remove them and still get a great workout from this actual protocol, that I've created here. So make sure that when you're doing the exercises, you focus on your form. Don't cheat your form. I can only emphasize this so much, but it's really important and really key. But anyway, hopefully you guys will take that message from me and you'll watch this video to completion. If you want to, you can even try follow along with it and see if you can actually keep it up to the same extent, and then let me know exactly how you get on with it. Let me know if you feel that the workout was harder when you do things with this kind of form, and yeah, that's literally all you need to really focus on. Anyway, what I'd like to also brush up on is, what is zygostatics? Zygostatics is not calisthenics. Let me just start off by saying that sometimes I use the two terms interchangeably when I'm speaking to people that don't really understand bodyweight exercise, because for them, bodyweight exercise and calisthenics are also the same thing. That's not true. Bodyweight exercise is any exercise that utilizes your body weight. I think calisthenics, and what modern calisthenics is actually a particular discipline that is it stands out by itself. So I don't think it's bodyweight exercise, it's literally its own discipline now, and it focuses on gaining strength and being having a physique that is basically really dense in terms of your strength level. So you're basically stronger than you look with calisthenics. That's the aim of calisthenics, in my opinion. And they focus, or calisthenics focuses primarily on core strength. So let me try and break this down for you guys quickly, but without looking too judgmental. When I say calisthenics focuses on a lot of core strength, looking at me in this video, one thing you notice that is different for me and calisthenics athletes is that I have much lower core strength than they do. So what you would realize if you do bodyweight exercise is that like your main muscle groups, such as your triceps, your chest, your delts, they're important and they help to allow you to do certain exercises like push-ups, dips, pull-ups, all of that stuff. Once you've got a certain level of strength, it doesn't take a lot of strength, you can do advanced exercises. So what I mean by that is, if you can do, let's just say 30 push-ups in a row, I guarantee you can do handstands. Yes, if you can do 30 push-ups, you can do handstands. If you can do 30 push-ups, you can do handstand push-ups. If you can do 10 pull-ups, you can do a muscle up. But you know, but when people see like calisthenics athletes doing all of these crazy exercises, people think it requires immense strength. It really doesn't. What it really requires is immense core strength. If you're a calisthenics athlete, you need core strength. That's how you're going to pull off your planches. That's how you're going to pull off your handstands. That's how you're going to pull off your front levers and all of those exercises. And I think one of the best ways to train your core is by doing L-sits. L-sits is very, very good for training your core. Practicing tuck planches is very good for training your core. And it really takes a lot of mind-muscle connection to actually work out how to exactly use your core when you're doing particular exercises. But the difference between calisthenics and zygostatics is, with zygostatics I went for aesthetics over strength. So that's what I was trying to focus on. And what I realized was that when I would train my core excessively, all the other exercises I was doing would become easier. So when I'd be doing pull-ups, I'll be like doing 15 pull-ups in one go and it's completely fine. I'll be doing handstands and I'll be floating. I'll literally do a tuck plunge and I'm floating. Like, every exercise was moderately many times easier when I had done core training. So what I decided to do was to not train my core for a while and to see how that went. And all that meant was that instead of relying on my core to boost my strength when I'm doing pull-ups, when I'm doing push-ups, when I'm doing all of these exercises, I turn off my core on purpose. So I try not to use my abs when I'm doing these exercises. What this does is it places more stress on my muscle groups that are actually doing the actual exercise, that are contributing to the exercise. And one other thing I do differently than calisthenics is I don't train frequently. A lot of calisthenics athletes train daily, and you know, a lot of them have the mentality of training all day every day, and they do this. They're really strong and I commend them for obviously what they do. With zygostatics I train twice a week. If I'm going to be including my legs in the training program, then I will train 3 times a week, and that's the maximum you'll see me in the gym. The only time I've ever trained more excessively than that was when I was actually trying to cut down and get shredded for a period of time, and I was training 4 times a week with full body workouts just so that I could engage the muscle groups enough to get the blood pumping. Once you do that, then what that does is it prevents your muscles from atrophying whilst you're on a hypocaloric diet. Other than that, I will not go to the gym, or I will not train in the park or do any exercise more than 3 times in a week. It's just too much effort, too much strength, and it's just not required for my level. I could do everything I need to do within the 3 days and gain serious mass. And it's not really taking me any weights at the moment. I haven't used any resistance bands, I haven't used weighted calisthenics, haven't done any weights at all, no plates, nothing, and I'm still gaining mass quite easily. So it does definitely work. Yeah, so if you're trying to build mass, you might want to focus on zygostatic style training as opposed to calisthenic style training. Calisthenic style training is better if you're looking for performance, if you're trying to go to compete in competitions, or you're trying to increase your core strength because you're, let's just say, a rock climber, or you're an athlete. Then zygostatic style training right now that you're seeing will not help you much in the slightest with your athletic performance. Yeah, it won't. You're gonna get bigger and you're gonna get stronger, but the strength you gain is not the right strength. I don't know how to describe it. It's more of mechanical strength. You become stronger in terms of the amount of weight you can actually push all in one go, but in terms of endurance and stamina, that does not increase. So I was on Reddit some other time actually, and I was speaking to some people about someone wanted to know how to increase his reps, and I was literally explaining to the person that I have not increased reps in 3 years of training, and that's because of zygostatics and the framework with it. You're only training the same muscle group once in a week. That muscle doesn't have enough time to develop a lot of physiological adaptations that's going to help to increase your endurance and stamina. We're not doing so many reps on reps and on reps, so because we're not doing that many reps, we're not actually gaining that much our mind is not basically it's not connecting the muscles efficiently. It's not the whole body is not working efficiently when doing exercises. And that's one other point I'm gonna point out here, is that with Zygostatics, the form I'm doing these exercises with is stupidity, if it makes sense. I need to quickly just clarify on that concept. I'm doing the exercises in a very stupid way. Basically, I'm going against my brain and my body. My body says, why don't we, instead of doing the push-ups like this, why don't we sort of, you know, do it like this? Or instead of doing the pull-ups like this, why don't you engage your core and do it like this? Because obviously the body is made to be efficient. And with Zygostatics, I know that I cannot be efficient because I'm trying to stimulate stress in muscle groups and, you know, cause the muscle to grow. If you were focusing on calisthenics, you're probably doing things with better form than I am in terms of overall how your body is supposed to work. You're basically doing things in a more natural way. Let's conclude it like that. So what I mean by that, for example, is if you were on the edge of a cliff and you needed to get up onto the cliff, it's life or death. You're not going to focus on pulling in a particular way with your arms to the side, engage your lats and pull all the way down, keep your back straight, your chest out and pull. No, you're not going to do that, because obviously that's going to be harder than it is just to swing a little bit, use your core, pull yourself up with power and explosive energy. So not to do the actual pull portion of the lift slowly, it would be to do it fast. And that's how the body works. So the body is efficient. So if you're trying to gain muscle using bodyweight exercise, Zygostatics will always show you guys the stupidest way of doing the exercise. And by that I mean it's going to be the most effective for gaining muscle, because it's going to place a high amount of stress on the muscle groups, but it's not necessary. So because it's not necessary, that's why you need a lot of instruction and a lot of I'd say a lot of advice by someone who's actually done these things, so that you learn exactly the best way to do it. Because if you were to try yourself to do it, your body will probably choose a form that's more efficient. Literally just as simple as that, a form that's more efficient, and you won't gain the results you're looking to actually gain. But anyway, I think I've rambled on for long enough. I'm starting the second set here. So as you can see, the first exercise, which is the skull crushers, has now become decline push-ups. So I'm doing 20 of these, and I could have gone to a higher level of push-ups. Normally I would go for about 35 on the second set, but the reason why I kept it at 20 was because I hadn't eaten properly the day before this, and on this day as well I hadn't eaten a lot of food. I'd had a quick protein smoothie, made an almond protein smoothie before coming to the gym, and that's literally all I had, with a slice of cake. So what that means is my glycogen stores were quite depleted going into this workout. So if you keep on adding reps on reps on reps in the actual exercise program, you're going to end up becoming so drained and so out of energy that it's going to impair your progress in the workout. So that's why I kept the numbers a little bit slightly lower than I would have kept them, just so that I had enough energy to push through the workout, because the workout is quite long. And you know, as long as I focus on the intensity, keeping the intensity high, keeping the rest periods low and the form clean, then I gain muscle. The last thing I'll point out actually before I leave you guys is that I also added biceps into this workout. So one thing I do is I normally keep pushing and pulling exercises separate. However, when I'm working on a particular specific small muscle group that I think needs a little bit of work, I add it to the end of my actual pushing and pulling days as a burnout. So it's just like call it an afterload. And it works out well in this type of workout, because the part of the bicep I'm training is not going to be fully trained when I'm actually doing my pulling workout. And that doesn't make sense to you guys now, but if I was to show you guys my pulling workout and break it down like this, it would make a lot of sense. But that's for another time and another day. So anyway guys, hope you enjoy this workout. I hope you guys have the chance to follow through with it. Let me know if you guys would like us to keep on posting some of these raw workouts. It's huge files. I mean, like, we're talking about 19 gigabytes. The only reason why I'm doing such a project is because I have super fast Virgin internet. Without that internet, I would be uploading something like this for about 2-3 days. So I'm not even sure if it's worth it. So let me know if it's worth it, guys. Did you like it, or do you like me to next time just edit the whole workout into maybe 10-15 minutes and show you guys something a little bit smaller? The only reason I went for the whole thing is so you can see exactly how the whole workout is, all of the obviously the, what do you call it, all of the effort, all of the intensity, and all of the realness, because I feel like sometimes when you cut all of these workouts out and put them into 10 minutes, you're lacking something in there. You're lacking, you don't show people the actual struggle, the actual work that goes into building muscle. So when people see you, it's easy for them to say, oh, that person's taking steroids or this and that, because you know they're not really looking at, they think you're doing nothing basically, and you're doing only, you're chilling pretty much, and you're gaining such muscle. So I think sometimes it's good to just show people exactly what you do and how hard you work. Yeah, but anyway, let me know if you would like us to keep up with these uncut workouts, and also if you would like us to live stream them. So if you're interested in any of these, just comment, you know, feel free to comment and subscribe. You can reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram if you have more personal queries that you don't want to write about in the comment section. I'm all up for that. But yeah, peace guys. Peace. You see me over there? What up, man? Oh yeah, we have to get up and down, but we can't run it. Two more exercises, the second time.
2 more.
Really short sets, they should be finished quicker.
Your sets are...
To get this big, you have to work dead hard, especially your body weight. When you get to this level, you've got to push yourself.
some Nando's. Nando's, yeah? Whole chicken. Huh? Takeaway? Why?
Eating it like this, so I'll sweat it up.
So? Go! You work hard, you eat hard. God.
I can't finish it.
What would you have to do?
At the end, I had 3 exercises at the end of this. I was serious, I was trying to get ready for 45 through. That motivation is not in me anymore. I'm too weak. I'm going to get one. watching the workout. As you can see, this is a proper workout on Zygostatics. We train hard, that's the reason why we look like this about doing weights. It's super hard. The workouts we put online, although they look simple when we show you one set, it's not simple if you do the whole thing properly with the right form. As you can see, we don't cheat the reps. If we can't do one, we stop and then we make it up. And if it's a half rep, it doesn't count. Alright, peace! Look at them, man. Right? They're looking small compared to my body. I need to get back on some calf training.
Alright, mister. Alright!
I really like dance, but I've never had time to dance. Alright, let's go.
Oh, perfect. Now everyone can tell you can dance.
So now we're going.